Hello everyone, welcome to Dividends, the show for and about your College of Business. We have two great guests today. Joining us a little later, Cindy Smith, the Director of Distance and Executive Education. But our first guest is Dr. Robert Crossler, and he works in the Department of Management and Information Systems and is an expert on something that's very topical today, digital privacy.
Yes, thanks, Jeff.
Do we take this for granted? Is this something we should worry about that we don't? I mean, do you just go crazy when you see all of us walking around with our phones and don't have them protected the way they should be?
Well, when people are walking around with their phones, there's really no easy way of knowing how they're protected, but seeing the things that people do as a result of just digital technology becoming part of our everyday life creates some avenues that people just need to be aware of for how they can best keep themselves protected and safe.
Well, we want to dive into that, but first we want to explain how you got here. Your undergraduate degree was at University of Idaho, correct? And then you got your PhD at Virginia Tech.
Correct.
And you have been with us now for how long?
4 years.
All right. How did you find this little niche? How did this get on your radar?
Sure. So when I was a doctoral student at Virginia Tech, I started working with my research advisor there, France Boulanger, in the area of children's privacy is really the realm that we looked at, and we did some research in that area. And things progressed, started becoming an expert in that area of just privacy and how do we protect other people's privacy, our own privacy, and as cell phones came into fruition, smartphones became something that everybody had. It just created a very interesting area of research to do.
Were you surprised at how we take our privacy or lack thereof for granted?
In some ways I'm surprised, in other ways I'm not. Because for most of us, when we use technology, we want to be able to just use it. And it's fun, there's a lot of cool things that we can do. And so the fact that privacy is forgotten about in the midst of all that isn't terribly surprising because we enjoy sharing with others on Facebook and having the social interaction that brings.
So you decided to do something about it, though, and you created an app?
Correct. So I sat down with my colleague. I'm still working with my colleague at Virginia Tech, and we asked ourselves the question, if we could do anything, what gets us excited? And an opportunity to do something that could share our knowledge, what we've become experts about, with the broader community became something we were very excited about. So as this conversation went on, we said, well, how can we create an app? How can we create something on a smartphone? We ultimately just did it on the iPhone, but how can we create something in that environment that would help others to make better decisions when it came to the information that they're giving away as they're utilizing their phones?
So this app helps users find the privacy settings on their iPhones and sets them correctly.
Exactly.
Why does it take an app to do that?
Well, it doesn't necessarily take an app to do it. It takes the user doing it themselves, and that's what we're helping the user to do.
But we're not doing it, but Apple doesn't make it easy.
Correct. Apple has, for design reasons, put privacy settings 3, 4, 5 levels deep to where you actually have to know where you're going, you have to know what you're looking for. From their perspective, they want you to be able to pick up that device and use it and do these things. So privacy isn't something that they're necessarily selling as an easy thing to take care of. And so we designed this app, and what it does is it takes people and describes to them what the different privacy settings are and tells them how to get to where they need to go to set their settings, what those settings mean so they can make an informed decision about what that really is. And then there's an audio button they can push that will actually verbally walk them through, so they completely leave the app and they can listen to me talk. And it will take them through and tell them to click on settings and tell them to click on location-based services and go to these different places and have that audio background telling them what they're looking at and how to make a decision related to what they're sharing in those various settings.
So what are the biggest mistakes that we make with this? I mean, as far as, I'm sure that I have not done anything with my privacy settings.
Well, the biggest mistake I would say is most people just take the default settings just the way they are. They never even think about them because it's easy. I can use my phone, I don't have to do anything. One that most people are beginning to become aware of because there's been more information about it is apps have the ability to use your location, and you can turn that on or off. And there's been a lot of news about when you take pictures with your camera, it can be geotagged with your exact location, which may be fine. There may be a good reason to do that. But once you post that picture to Facebook or to Twitter or put it online somewhere, you're in essence telling people exactly what time and when and where that picture was taken. And when people become aware of that, they're like, yeah, I'm not sure I'm so comfortable with that being public knowledge.
So how does one get your app? And can you pull it up on your phone? Can
absolutely.
you see it? I think we'll challenge cameraman Dave here to see.
Yeah, that's right, we'll put it to work.
On it or
So if they go to the Apple App Store and just type in Privacy Helper, 2 words, it should come up. I'm not sure what the best way to show this is when you come in here.
Where do we want to show this? This one? Let's point it this one.
Point it this way. And so it comes up with the screen, and there's 6 different choices here, and let's just pick system services. If I click on there, it describes what system services are, gives you some examples of what the various settings that you could see in there are. And then as we continue to scroll down, it gives you the step-by-step directions. But what we discovered is I can tell you 7 steps on how to go somewhere. And by the time you get to the 3rd step, ultimately you've probably forgotten where you're supposed to go. And so we have this button that says, talk me through the instructions. And so when you press that, it begins to tell you basically what these steps are. But you can listen to it while you're clicking along. So it becomes much more of an interactive way to go through and set your settings with somebody, in essence the app, but somebody inside the app, it seems like, guiding you through how to do that.
And this can be found at the Apple App Store?
If you go to the Apple App Store and you type in search Privacy Helper, it's free. We put this together as a service that we want to make available to the general public, so it's something that absolutely free. Would love it for people to get in there and truly set up their devices in a way that is consistent and comfortable with how they would like their privacy settings to be managed.
Well, thank you for coming by and sharing that with us. Appreciate the work that you do as a land-grant. It's nice to take all this expertise and to push it out for folks. So we appreciate the work you're doing.
Great, thank you.
We'll take a break. Be back with more in just a moment. Stay tuned.
So you have an idea. It's exciting. It's original. It's genius. And you think it could be the next big thing. But how do you turn this idea into reality? At the Entrepreneurship Center, we will guide you through every step of the entrepreneurial process and help along the way, from developing and enhancing your idea to building your product and bringing it to market. Our programs will help refine your idea and connect you with other creative individuals. You can collaborate with students and discover their brilliant ideas, learn from expert faculty and accomplished business leaders, and even receive money to expand your venture and start your own company. Whether your idea is a revolutionary product, app, or service, we can help. The Entrepreneurship Center at Mississippi State University. From invention to innovation, it starts here.
There are a number of student activities that students can get involved with, but few of them know that they can start a company while they're in school. We want students to consider that when they come to school here, they have 4 years to create themselves a job, create a new venture, and that's really what the center is here to provide. We're here to provide the resources, connections, and programs that can help them start a company. The background of our students is extremely diverse. All across campus, students are getting involved, forming these companies, and people, all sorts of different backgrounds, coming together to create these startups that are just doing amazing things. Regardless of where you're at in the entire startup process, whether you're coming in with a fresh idea, already have an established company, or just are trying to get interested in entrepreneurship, we want to put students in a position where they feel encouraged and supported to pursue their passions so they can make an impact no matter what field or industry they go into.
Welcome back, everyone. Joining us now is Cindy Smith. She's the Director of Distance and Executive Education in the College of Business. And Cindy and I have worked together for some time, and she handles the distance learning part of our MBA program, which I think folks would be surprised to know that 2/3 of our MBA candidates now are distance.
That's true. We only have about 30 students in the on-campus MBA program, but we're running around 200 for the Distance MBA.
And this is a shift that has been taking place over several years now, but it is, I was going to say nationwide, but probably it is a global trend in education, right?
Well, actually, an online MBA program is the most popular MBA program in the United States. We have some good news in the College of Business. We were recently ranked by U.S. News and World Report in the top 25 online MBA programs in the nation. We're number 22. We also have an online Master of Science in Information Systems, and that was ranked number 54, so we're very proud of that.
What are some of the criteria?
The admission criteria, we're looking for a competitive...
Oh, I'm sorry, that gets you nationally ranked.
Oh, I'm sorry, sure. The criteria, they're looking at best practices in online programs and online teaching. A lot of it is based on the faculty and their credentials. We're very proud in our program that our faculty are the same full-time faculty, tenure-track faculty that teach in our on-campus program. That's important in accreditation. The other thing is selectivity and looking at the admission scores, admission test scores for the students and their GPAs. They also look at the level of support services across the campus, such as career services, your admission process, advising processes. So there's quite a lot that goes into it.
Top 25 is pretty good, considering the number of universities out there and the prestigious universities out there.
Yes, that is true.
Can you paint a picture of a typical MBA distance candidate? Because you interact with them, and it's pretty much all over the board.
Right. Our students come from all over the United States, at least 49 of the 50 states. Typically, they already have full-time jobs, they have homes, they have families. They're not able to uproot their families and move on campus for a program, so this is ideal for them. The on-campus program is a one-year program, but typically the online students take 2 years to finish. But we're very flexible. You can enter any semester, and you can take up to 8 years to finish.
And I've noticed there have been quite a few candidates who are in the military.
Right, because of our relationship we've had in the past with Columbus Air Force Base, we started a program with them, so we've always had a good number of military people, and we're very fortunate on this campus to have the services from the Center for America's Veterans, and they provide a lot of support and assistance with their tuition assistance.
And so it takes them a couple years. Some it takes a little longer because of juggling family, career, and things like that.
Right, you can take up to 8 years, and especially with our military, we do find that some of them may get deployed overseas where they don't have good access to the internet, and they may take a little bit longer, but it's as I say, it's very flexible.
Do you see any advantages or disadvantages to on-campus versus the distance? I know that when we work with these MBA students in the consulting projects, the distance students tend to bring some real-world work experience in, but you don't have the boots on the ground where you can gather your students together and talk through issues.
Right. So the differences really are that the distance students have more work experience. When we do, for example, the last course they take is the business consulting project, where they actually provide services to a real business. It's very helpful to have distance students who have a lot of experience. They're engineers, they've been working on big projects, they're already used to working on teams and the dynamics of working on a team.
So what does it take to become a candidate for the Distance MBA program?
We're looking for someone who has a bachelor's degree. It doesn't have to be a bachelor's degree in business. If they don't have the business foundation courses, they can take those from us after they're admitted. We're looking for a competitive GMAT or GRE score. And generally that average is running around 570 or 580 for a GMAT. We're looking for ideally at least a 3.0 GPA, but we'll go lower if someone brings us a really strong portfolio with good references. You need 3 references, a good undergrad transcript.
One of the side benefits for the university is that it creates ambassadors for us literally all over the country and sometimes internationally. We have students and they'll get the degree from Mississippi State and never having set foot on campus, but now they are proud Bulldogs to get that degree. They
really are. We find we're developing little pockets of students. We have a group up in Findlay, Ohio, and 2 of the people there that work for Marathon started our program. And since then, I've had several other people inquire and start the program because they hear about it from other people they work with.
Well, thank you for the work that you do, and thanks for coming by and sharing that with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And that is going to do it for this edition of Dividends. We appreciate you being with us, and we'll see you next time.